What's up, Fight Fam? This is Jake with Boxing Gems, breaking down Abdullah Mason vs. Sam Noakes. The actual film study's on Patreon if you want to need the visual proof to this breakdown. Now without further ado, let's get into it. Let's start with the first major theme, reaching. See, Noakes tends to overextend when he throws that rear hand. You see the rear foot lift off the canvas as he comes forward, sometimes to the point where he squares up or even shifts into the opposite stance. That's dangerous because Mason slaughters guys who reach and come out their body and sends them tumbling to the canvas. That could easily be Noakes. Here's where it gets interesting. Noakes actually uses this reach intentionally. He's not just overcommitting, he's forward shifting to get inside, covering himself with punch traffic and then smothering and controlling right after. It's risky, but it's part of his system. Mason reaches too, but without that built-in protection. He'll reach, fall square, and hang there long enough for someone like Noakes to catch him clean. So whoever times the other's rear hand better could set the tone. And both guys know how to draw out that rear hand. They'll use jab traps, they'll hand fight for the lead hand lane, anything to make the other guy feel like the cross is there. And once they get that reaction on their timing, that's when the counter's waiting. Noakes sometimes waits behind an inactive high guard, hands up, not moving. You know the holes by now, around the flanks and down the pipe. Problem is, Mason eats that kind of guard alive. He's fast, accurate, and places punches right through those gaps. But Noakes isn't totally passive. He uses that same high guard to bait, then fires back with counters. So Mason can't just go wild when he sees the high guard. He's got to keep his defensive responsibility on him. Both guys love their jabs, but both have a bad habit of falling in behind them. Mason steps in deep with a single mid-range jab. Pretty reckless since he's trading that single jab for any of his ops' more powerful counterpunches. When he decides he wants to be a little smart, he'll set traps with that jab to bait a counter and then answer with a slip counter, pull hook, or a block and shoot. It's still risky though. The problem? When he throws that hook after the jab, his head doesn't move, so he's right there to be hit. Noakes jabs for a completely different reason. He wants to get inside. He'll throw it, fall in, and then go to work, or throw his lead hand to control his opponent's head, or blind their vision. It's smart, but it's still dangerous against a fast counterpuncher like Mason. The fun part? Both can bait each other's jab counters, so the jab exchanges might look like a mini chess game. But a fight starts to lean one way is the inside, and that's all Noakes. Up close, he's a specialist. He uses head controls, frames, pins, all those little physical tricks to off-balance and control his opponent. Mason can frame and reposition too, but it's just not as developed. His inside game relies more on athleticism than control, and that won't hold up against someone who knows how to smother space like Noakes. You can see Mason's speed and athleticism give him a real chance here, especially when Noakes starts dropping his hands or keeping his head right on the center line. And that high guard, it's got holes, Mason can find them. But watch what Noakes does. He shuts down those openings with control. He'll grab a glove, frame on the head, and just smother Mason's arms before he can fire. So even though Mason's the faster, flashier athlete at this range, he's actually the one at a disadvantage. Mason's biggest weakness in the 50-50 is that he trusts his reflexes too much. He drops his hands, stays on the center line, and takes pictures after throwing. Especially that rear hand uppercut that's gotten him beamed at every range he's thrown it. This has already got dude clipped or sat down at lower levels. And against a pressure guy like Noakes, it could be costly. Yeah, Mason's Philly shell, you know, it's slick, but it's risky in this matchup. One, he completely gives up the jab lane. It isn't clogging space to prevent pressure, so Noakes will use that all day. In the open stance, the shell also forces what's called a single shield. That means Mason has to guess the trajectory of that rear hand, and if he guesses wrong, he gets blasted. Even if he guesses right, the punch can still punch through the block. And inside is worse. The slinged arm leaves one side of his face open unless he's actively framing, and he doesn't always. The rear hand can usually account for the hand on that side. Plus, when Mason switches from run guard to another mid-exchange, he sometimes opens himself up mid-transition. That's where Noakes can sneak in big shots. Up close, that slinged arm gives Noakes a path to work off. He can frame right on Mason's shoulder or neck. And it gets even easier because Mason loves to duck from mid-range and try to duck and smother on the inside. Every time he does, he basically gives Noakes a post to lean on. And from there goes that inside work again. Now, when we talk about their lead hands in general, it gets tricky again. In the open stance, both fighters' lead hands line up, clogging the jab lane, so they start hand fighting, trying to get the top hand position so they can clear the lane and shoot over. Noakes does this beautifully, and he'll bait the opponent into matching his probe, then immediately throw real offense on that same rhythm. Here's the thing, Mason could do that exact same thing. But Mason can have his probes timed without a trap. He's touched the canvas for it even if the ref is staring out in space. So can Noakes. He just hasn't got knocked down for it yet. This is the part where the fight could go back and forth, with both guys constantly adapting their lead hand tactics. So how does it all add up? Outside the mid-range, it's pretty even. Both guys have the tools and the traps to win exchanges there. Inside, though, Noakes has a clear advantage with his control and physicality. The wild card is experience and intangibles. Noakes has fought better competition, legit lightweights at the British and European level. Mason's resume is padded with journeymen and smaller opponents from lower weights, and he's been dropped by 2 of them. He hasn't even had a 12-round fight yet. But Mason's also shown he can persevere through adversity. He gets up and gets the job done. We don't know if Noakes can do that. Meanwhile, Noakes hasn't even truly been tested against a slick southpaw with extraordinary hand speed and athleticism like Mason. So the prediction? It's as close as they come. If Mason can keep the fight at range and punish Noakes for reaching and jumping in, he wins. If Noakes can get inside and it turns physical, it's his world. Thanks for watching.
Fight fam. Boxing is called the sweet science for a reason. Every slip, every counter, every trap, it's all hidden in the details. At Boxing Gems, we break down those details frame by frame so fans can see the art behind the fight. If you enjoy our YouTube film studies and want to go deeper down the rabbit hole, Patreon is the place. It helps us keep producing high quality breakdowns without worrying about algorithms, and it gives you exclusive access to the content that can't make it on the YouTube. Get extended live stream breakdowns with more detail and analysis. Ask your own questions in the 24/7 chats, decide what fights or fighters we cover, and get personalized private analysis. Gain access to our thriving betting community as well as Boxing Gems weekly picks and much more. Your support means we can keep studying the sport we love and showing why boxing is the most beautiful science. Join the Boxing Gems community on Patreon and let's keep breaking down the fight game together. This is Ryan, professional boxing analyst and founder of Boxing Gems Film Study. Film don't lie.